Wizard
versus Tree.
Greetings everyone. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these vlogs for wizardVtree, but the month of May was a very tumultuous time. On May 4th, right there on Tuesday, my dad went in for a routine biopsy of the prostate. I'm not going to go into what that means. The reason was because his PSA levels went a little higher, and that's usually a telltale sign of cancer. So we went to get that checked out. Wednesday, I had to call the ambulance, calling 911 for the first time in my life. I've never done it at all. I hope none of you ever have to do it in your lifetime. One of the most traumatic experiences for me. My dad was in a lot of pain. He had a fever, and he couldn't sit, stand, or lay down. He couldn't do it. His legs were on fire. So the ambulance showed up. That was Tuesday. Got rushed to the hospital over at West Hills Hospital. We were in ER for about 6 hours and were let go because of prostatitis, which is what the diagnosis was, which is an infection of the prostate caused by the biopsy. Next couple of days, Dad was really weak. He couldn't eat. Everything that he was eating, he couldn't hold down, not even a couple spoonfuls of yogurt. It was getting to the point on Friday when the pain resurfaced that I had to take Dad back to the hospital. At this point, I'm talking to my mom on the phone the day before, and she says I'm going to be flying in. Now, we scheduled her to fly in on June 1st to June 7th, and it was going to be, family time and going to the beach and having fun, but she said she has to fly out. At that point, Dad and I didn't know how serious it was. My dad then was taken to ICU with a blood pressure of 80 due to the morphine and the infection. Found out that a UTI infection is what admitted him into the hospital. That was on Friday. And then Saturday, I come into the hospital, find out that he has sepsis and that it infected his kidneys. And this is almost too much to handle, and I just kind of lightly to the doctor say, well, it's a good thing I brought him in. And the doctor looks at me and says, if you did not bring your dad in when you did, there would have been nothing we could have done for him. 10 days later, my dad is still in the hospital, and he's got pain in his sciatic nerve, which is actually hindering recovery. He had CAT scans, angiograms, respiratory therapy, physical therapy. Blood work was being taken every 2 hours. He was on working with infectious disease doctors, hematologists, and his regular doctor, and the urologist that originally did the biopsy is the cause of all this. Then it got weird, and this was around the 5th, it was the week of that Dad was in the hospital, that he gets a roommate. I will not say his name, but he looks exactly very similar to what my dad looks like. My dad's 6'3", 210 pounds, 58 years old. The guy that comes in is 210 pounds, 57, 6'2". Kind of weird. At that point, I felt like I was in a Stephen King novel, or some episode of House, that it was just too much to handle. Mom and I were getting up every day to go to the hospital. We'd spend most time as we can with Dad. I was still doing census work. I, one day, forgot the keys were still locked in the car. And when I went up to see Dad with Mom, the car was still running. So when I start to leave, I'm checking my pockets and I'm like, well, where are the keys? I can't find the keys. Get to the truck and it's still running. It was just everything that could have gone wrong did. But luckily, there is a happy ending to this story. My dad is currently home right now. He's been home for now 6 days from the hospital. He's very weak. He lost 19 pounds in the time that he was at the hospital. And having my mom here was just... there are no words to explain how important she was to be here, because we didn't know. We didn't know. Every day was a little worse, and then things started getting better, but... I mean, I almost lost my dad, and that's terrifying. I mean, you never think that one day you're just having fun going to like Koji barbecue and just hanging out, and then next couple weeks your dad's in the hospital. I'm very happy that he's on the road to recovery. It's a steep, long, winding road, but he's gonna make it. I have faith, and I thank you so much to all my dad's support. I was handling all the phone calls as well. I was like his publicist. Every time a family member or a friend called, I was the one talking because Dad couldn't. And I became like the man of the house, and I was doing bills. And I mean, these are the kind of situations you never want them to happen, but you never know if you can be prepared for them. And I know that whatever happens in life, I'll be able to take it head first, and I'll be able to survive, which is great. And I'm just so glad that he's home now. Thank you so much to my mom. I couldn't have done it without her. And my support group, especially my good friend Allie. She really was nice to talk to someone about this, because she had to deal with her mom when she had to call the ambulance and everything. So it's never easy, but it's good to know that in those traumatic times that I won't freak out like there's a mouse running around the floor, that I can actually, think logically and get things taken care of. So, this is my 50th vlog. I couldn't have done that without all your support watching. And next week is going to be the last This Week in Washington, because Sean comes home this Sunday, and me, Sean and Brian, I'm sorry, proper grammar, Sean, Brian, and I are going to see Flight of the Conchords. That means I will see, with my good friends Jermaine and Brett, at the Hollywood Bowl, singing about Humans Are Dead and the Bowie's song, and oh my god, I'm so excited. I am so excited. It's a nice way to kick off the Memorial Weekend. So, I will leave with that. Have a great Memorial Weekend, and hopefully Dad is back to his old self in no time. Alright.